What's up, Misfits? Maverick here with a Season 5 release breakdown. I want to take a few minutes and just kind of walk through the update, what changes have occurred in Warzone, and really just share my thoughts over them. Timestamps are going to be down below in the description, so let's hop right in. First and foremost, because I know you're all jacked about it, let's talk about the stadium. I'm glad they did something with the stadium because this section of the map has generally just felt like dead space. Drops there, especially the next couple of weeks, are absurdly hot. We're talking 30 to 40% of the lobby is dropping there at any given time. It makes for a really exciting drop, there's no doubt about it, but unfortunately the internal layout to the stadium really doesn't offer any unique gunplay or maneuverability. It's really just a giant ring with an open section in the center, so it's got a pretty linear feel. Lower levels really didn't seem to get involved in any of the action during the drops. I think you got to take too much time to get down to the very bottom, so it might be a good spot for somebody to rotate through, especially a passive player in the underground. Otherwise, again, it's not something I think people really spend any time being in. The stadium plays very much like if you're dropping into a shipment 24/7 lobby. You'll get a stretch where you put together a couple of kills and then you get clocked by whoever's chasing down the gunshots that you had. If you enjoy running shipment or doing that in multiplayer, you're probably going to enjoy taking drops at the stadium. I'll tell you, it has a little bit more viability in a squad-based game mode, in my opinion. But if you're just playing for kicks, you're playing for kills, you're doing a kill race competition or something like that, I think it's a fine place to drop. If you're playing for a win, I'll tell you, the location really doesn't offer any type of tactical advantage, and it's just surrounded by open fields, so I don't recommend dropping there. If you're just looking for some rambunctious fun, then it's going to be a great spot for you for the next couple of weeks. The next POI change is the train station interior. In contrast to the stadium, I was very happy with how these changes incorporated into new and unique gunfights. So the new sections are accessible from all 3 levels off of the drop. You don't need to worry about, if you drop to the lower level feeling like you're gonna miss out on all the action because you're trying to secure a weapon. You're gonna be in the thick of it no matter where you drop. The bottom section of the concourse is really loaded with crates, but you got to be careful because most all the crates have lines of sight from the 2nd or 3rd levels above it. So I think this is a really viable drop for any player type. It's a section that if you're being forced to rotate through, you're going to want to probably build in a little bit of extra time just to make sure that you clear it properly. There are several nooks and crannies that somebody who's playing a little bit more passive could easily pick you off from. It's a section that if someone else starts the gunfight and gets a couple shots on you, it's going to be very difficult for you to turn that gunfight around or to escape them. Speaking of trains, Infinity Ward is really going to need to tweak the new moving train around the map, in my opinion. It's a cool spot the first time you drop there, but if you're not specifically seeking it out, it really does not become a part of the natural game flow at any time. It never impacted any of my rotations. It's really pretty restricted to just one half of the map, which limits its involvement in a fair number of circles. I did get sniped off of it one time because it's open and exposed, which can make for a pretty cool clip for someone's Instagram. But all in all, it's pretty much a non-factor, especially in solo matches. I think that it would be a bit more dynamic element if there was a special contract that you could only find on the train, if the red key card opened a special loot cart, or even if players had the ability to like stop or crash the train so that it created a new section of the map for you to have fights in, something new each and every single time. Otherwise, you're not going to notice it really being a factor in any of the games. At least I didn't. Next, let's talk a little bit about the loot changes. I'm hoping they're going to be doing some tweaking with this. I found some interesting weapons out of crates. They're predominantly SMG and sniper variants. There's really no mid-range loot that I came across. Really nothing from a floor loot perspective. The only AR that I found with relative frequency was a silenced scar, a green silenced scar, which is not a very viable early game weapon in my opinion to begin with. I mostly came across Kar 98s, M14s, P90s, and then the absurdly astronomical amount of LMGs that they've got in the game. Feels like they're pushing those pretty hard. You're probably going to end up finding about 47 different Bruins, not including all of the Bruins that you end up taking off of players that you kill, especially because they didn't nerf it. That's probably going to be here for a while, so just be prepared for that. I'm pretty excited to see how the new KN94 plays out. I'll tell you, it's a battle pass level 31 item, which means most people won't get it unlocked for a while. And then once you get it unlocked, you got to go through the whole process to get it kitted out. So I don't know how much functionality that's going to really have, especially for the next couple of weeks. So we're probably going to get another patch update to influence the gun meta before that becomes a more mainstream weapon. The last points I'll leave us with are: one, the new zip lines on the outside of buildings in downtown, they're basically non-factors. It's really easy to get ripped off of one because you're exposed for so long that I don't feel like there's really an advantage for you to try and take a roof by using the zip line versus having a little bit more controlled environment through the stairs. The new mini Royale mode, it was actually really cool. It's definitely a mode that cuts out the time you spent looting. I think it's a unique way to play, and I hope that they do some more variants on it. I feel like it's a better option for a solos or maybe even a duos mode as opposed to trios or anything beyond that, because you'll find yourself in a situation where it feels like most of the time people are a little bit campy. I don't think it forces as much action as you would like. Part of that's just psychologically. The beginning, you'll see a smaller circle, and after the initial rip, most people are just trying to secure position. So I'd like to see duos or solos in that. Probably the most important thing that I noticed for season 5 is that it only took me 4 matches to run into a hacker at 4:15 in the morning East Coast time. So yeah, not really expecting that anything's been done from an anti-cheat or hacking front. So maybe that'll roll out mid-season or season 6. Yeah, I'm looking at you, Activision. To finish things off, I'd say it's nice to have a couple map changes. The shuffle up the loot pool will make things a little bit interesting. Candidly, though, I'm pretty worried that after 2 weeks, the game's going to go back to just being a kind of a frustrating hacker-filled mess. The map changes are unique, but the map changes are the interiors of buildings that were already there. And so if you're a player that drops in the quarry, or you like to drop dam or prison or someplace that isn't stadium or promenade west, they're basically non-factors for you. It's not going to be anything that changes your gameplay. So I'm hoping for some type of in-game event over the course of the season that can potentially change the topography of the map, that either opens up buildings or floods or damages sections of fields, or something that can create a new experience in terms of how you engage people. If you've enjoyed this quick update, please do me a favor, drop a like on the video. All the any and all love is very appreciated. My socials are in the link below. I'm always putting out daily content, so do me a favor and follow or subscribe those. To all my misfits out there, take care.